Almost 2 weeks ago, Bandai dropped a bombshell. OP-13, the crown jewel of the One Piece TCG, is getting a reprint. Many guessed this would shake up the entire market. Why wouldn't it crash with more coming in June? But the apocalypse never came. The aftermath is surprisingly stable. This leaves investors asking, how is this set defying gravity, and what does it mean for your portfolio? As we look at the overall aftermath just a couple of weeks after the announcement, you might find it's really not that severe at all. Granted, the physical reprints haven't actually entered the market yet, which understandably leaves some room for hesitation. But maybe it's because, even with the looming threat of reprints, this set simply has too much to offer. From meta-defining playables to historically stunning artwork, the foundational demand is keeping the floor far higher than the doomsayers anticipated. We saw this exact resilience firsthand with prismatic evolutions in the Pokémon TCG. When Pokémon made the announcement that they would print that set to max capacity, collectors could have panicked. Imagine that, full print volume flooding the shelves. Yet, the market hungrily ate up everything there was to offer, and then still continued to push onward and upward. Demand simply outpaced an infinite supply line, proving that top-tier sets can weather heavy printing. I realistically can't see the OP-13 reprint wave being even a fraction of Pokémon's overwhelming volume. Of course, One Piece is a smaller trading card game compared to the global juggernaut that is Pokémon, but it also commands extremely high premiums that attract serious investors. Bandai simply doesn't have the printer infrastructure to flood the market to the same degree, meaning the true scarcity of these cards will remain largely intact despite the extra wave hitting in June. Looking at the current prices, we saw the OP-13 booster box fall from its dizzying 750 plus highs down to the 500 plus current amount. While it's completely understandable if that feels like a steep haircut, we have to stay grounded in reality. 500 pluses is still an extremely high price for a set that was just released a few short months ago. This was probably Bandai's exact intent, to settle down the hyped highs and consolidate the market, a cooling off period which, to be fair, One Piece seemed to be doing organically even before the reprint news. To get a better gauge of the real impact, it's important to look at the singles market. The coveted red mangas and regular Manga Rares, in this set, have sales that are simply too far and few in between. Looking at the transactional data, they don't look like they've taken a huge hit at all. Digging further, most of the price change seems to be isolated to the parallel and alternative rare singles. The parallel Secret Luffy leveled out around $70 from its 180 pluses highs, while the parallel Secret Ace dropped to around $25 from its $80 highs, with other mid-tier hits coming down to much more reasonable levels. The argument could certainly be made that the singles were running entirely too high to begin with. Show me another parallel Secret Luffy from past sets that was almost about to touch $200 per card. You can't, because there aren't any. We've also seen additional cards take a backwards trend, such as the alternate art Sabo shedding nearly half its premium to settle around $30, and the parallel Emu seeing a 35% dip. The singles market was highly inflated by pure FOMO, and this announcement simply acted as a healthy correction for those artificially inflated hits. And this makes complete sense. When reprints hit, singles will always be the first to fall and get hit further. Sealed boxes, however, have more of a deflationary nature and a premium factor that will inherently limit the downside value when actually printed. Overall, the damage seems to not have gone too far, and actually shows a major positive for the One Piece hobby as a whole. Similar to the EB03 booster box, which seems to be back on an upward trend toward the 400s again, it's always important to remember in One Piece that even when the market delivers a hit, that rubber always bounces back.